Link you. I'll start the YouTube highlight from right here. So we're gonna get Duxwarrior in here soon, and we will. I'm gonna go ahead and link. You guys can just check him out on that. That is his entry, or whatnot, to the contest, and we're gonna get him on Skype. Let him just talk a little bit. Let you guys know who he is, how he does things. Some of the things he likes or dislikes about the game. And then we're going to go through a few of his logs, which are going to go ahead and get open here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get his armory opened up. And then we're going to go ahead and get him called up. Alright, so while we're getting this started, you guys, like I said, do me a favor, just link some stuff around on Twitter's, Facebook's, guild chats, real IDs, and all that. Try to get people in here. But we're going to go ahead and call him and get it started. I'll have to adjust the volume and all that jazz. Hey man, what's up?
What's going
Not
on?
a lot. Okay, probably just gonna have to play with the volume here a bit. Just talk for a bit and let them try and get a feel for how do I need to adjust the volume.
I figured my mic would be sort of weird. It always acts up, so.
It's got a lot of ambient, like, wind going on, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's probably my computer. It makes wacky sounds.
Okay, actually, what may be better for this, because it's like pretty loud, I'm going to give you my mumble info. Do you have mumble or ventrilo?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, just put this mumble in, and we'll do it on mumble, because it's got like a really, with Skype having the open mic, it'll be probably pretty rough trying to do it like that. So, we're going to get him on mumble and then get this started. For the guys in the stream that are watching.
Unmuted.
Wait for him to join, and yeah. So I'll leave his armory up here for you guys while we're waiting on him to hop in mumble, and alright, there he is.
That ball moved in front of the Riggnaros.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll just talk to you on mumble. Hey man, what's up? Can you hear me better on here?
Yep. You hear me?
Oh my god, it's like night and day difference. Yeah, that's like, I actually wonder if your Skype had a different mic setting. I don't know, you had like a webcam mic maybe or something?
No, not that I know of. So.
Okay, cool.
It's the same as Mumble.
So for the stream, you guys let me know if we need to turn him up, turn him down, or anything like that, and then we'll get that going. We'll go ahead and get it started. Just gotta make sure the volume is good to go. Still kind of low. Turn him up, turn him up, turn him up. Can you turn, I've already got your mic, or my mumble stuff almost maxed out. If you could turn your mic up just a little bit, they're saying you're still a little bit low.
Okay.
And just go like test, test, test when you're done, and then they can.
Testing. Sound good? No?
Yeah, that's a little bit louder. It should be good enough. Okay, so first off, thanks for hopping on here and doing this.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. This weekly thing. I'm gonna go ahead and toss your armory in stream chat, and then we're gonna just go ahead and get started with just going over your armory, and then while we're doing this, we're just gonna do a little a couple questions, just so people can kind of understand you, your guild history, background, some of the things that you enjoy about the game, and things like that. So if you just want to start it, just do a little bit of who you are, where you're from, things like that.
Okay. Hey guys, I play Protection Warrior on Shadowman server in a guild called the Horsemen. Character's name's Duxwarrior. In real life, I'm from Philadelphia. I've been playing Warrior for about 3 years now. Started tanking mostly back in ICC. Mainly ran in GDKP runs, was in guilds with friends and all that. And when Cataclysm started is when I really got heavily into raiding and my theory crafting and all that other stuff.
Cool. Being from Philly, kind of off topic. Are you an Eagles fan or a
No, I'm
Steelers fan?
actually uh, I'm actually a diehard Patriots fan, but for baseball, Phillies all the way.
Okay, that's pretty good. And how long did you say you've been playing WoW?
I've been playing since about the end of BC, but I got into raiding around Nax, but really started on my warrior in ICC.
Okay, cool. So what did you say? What did you play before the Warrior? If you just got
I played a Death Knight tank for a while.
oh, okay. So you rolled a DK probably what at the beginning of Wrath.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. What made you make the switch between DK and a Warrior? Just curious.
I really didn't like how DKs were. I thought it was sort of stupid with the icy touch spam and all that. So I had recently leveled the warrior around probably midway through ICC and started running in the GDKP runs and eventually moved up into the better GDKP runs on my previous server.
Okay, cool. All right. So getting your armory up here. I was just typing in them in stream chat, just letting me know if I need to adjust volume or anything, because I was just kind of tweaking on my end to make sure that you're coming across as clear as possible. Um, the guild that you're in now, the Horsemen. How long have you been part of them?
I've been here since the second week of Dragon Soul Heroics.
Okay, nice. So it's a relatively new guild. What I noticed that you said in your Reddit, or actually I think it was through a PM, that you knew Sinner. What guild were you guys in? He's in our guild now, so I was just curious.
Center was on my previous server, which was Ice Crown. He used to be in a guild called Ruin, and I used to raid in the guild that was ranked one lower than his on that server.
Oh, okay, so you guys are just on the same server together. It's pretty cool. Small world. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting. I mean, you see, it's not every day you see somebody, roll a DK and then switch to rolling a warrior fresh. What did you play at the end of BC? Just curious, since Death Knights weren't out then and you didn't have a warrior, so what were you playing?
I just leveled a hunter to 55 and then made the Death Knight right off the start of Wrath.
Okay, gotcha. So, what really inspired you or motivated you to pursue tanking as your most involved role in the game and things like that?
When I first hit 85, I was sort of just doing whatever. Was pretty much completely new to the game at being max level, and I joined a 25-man guild, not really knowing what raiding was like or anything, and they needed a tank, so I figured, I'd give it a shot, and been tanking ever since.
Nice. So, I mean, what are some of the things that you like about tanking? Like, what are some of the draws that you make you, I guess, want to keep doing it?
I just feel like a tank stands out more in raids. I don't know, I feel like I have a bigger role than DPS, and honestly, I find DPSing and healing just to be a little boring. To be honest, I've always just found tanking more fascinating. It's a lot different than the other roles. So
Yeah, it's definitely its own unique little animal. So, I mean, pretty interesting so far. I mean, what about I guess we can move on to thoughts of the warrior since Wrath and now into early Kata and current content Kata. I mean, what are some of the things that you've liked and disliked along the way by playing your warrior?
I'll start with Wrath. The thing I miss most about Wrath is the on next hit heroic strikes. That was something that I really liked. Plus having no GCD on it. The way Rage worked back then was definitely different. Made it a lot easier to get your rotation and whatever else you needed. As far as Kata goes, I'm absolutely loving what they did with Prot Warriors. Making shouts, give you rage was definitely something I was huge on. The Ren Thunderclap change, that's something I really liked, and I didn't even realize I liked it as much as I did till Heroic Maloriak, and the way shield block works now, with the shorter cooldown compared to what it was in Wrath. It was a minute in Wrath, I believe, and now it's only 30 seconds, and it increases your damage. It's more of a mitigation cooldown now than it was back then, and it's got a shorter cooldown, so it's sort of the equivalent to the Holy Shield for Paladins.
What are what I mean? I guess going through Dragon Soul, what are some of the fights that you find that are you enjoy? Like, what's your favorite fight this tier, tanking on your warrior?
Probably Yorsage. I really like that fight, even though it's pretty bad on Warriors, or it was for progression at least.
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting answer because usually, I mean, that's one of the two I would probably rate a warrior the weakest at. Just Yorsage and Madness, and outside of that, they're pretty strong. Why do you pick Yorsage? Just curious.
I mainly liked Yorsage just because it was more of a challenge compared to the other fights. Having block and dodge and parry not really be a huge factor in the fight, it definitely made you test your cooldown rotation abilities, which I liked.
How did you really get around that? I'm assuming, what was your other tank? You tanked it with what other class?
Death Knight.
Okay, cool. So, I mean, how did you guys manage the stacks? Like, he started, got to 2, 3, you taunt or what?
Yeah, he started, and then I would take it when he hit 3, and I would take the next 3. Mainly, it's just rotating your shield block, right, and then rotating cooldowns from your priests, your personals, Hands of Sax, and your TB trinket for the most part. The TB trinket made a huge difference.
Yeah, I'd definitely say if you're a warrior planning to do Yorsage 10 or 25, you definitely want to pick that trinket up. It's a pretty big deal breaker for that fight. So that's pretty interesting. Then I would assume that would be you don't hear many warriors that would list that fight. So I mean, what about your least favorite fight this tier as a warrior?
Probably Morchok. It was a pretty boring fight since week 1. It's really just ever since then was rotating cooldowns correctly. It's not really a very fun fight.
Senator Mighty's asking if you used the Cindergosa trinket as well as the TV. That way you could have 2 of them for that fight. He was just curious if some of the warriors were doing that. Did you ever experiment with that or no?
I did for a few attempts and then realized that stamina loss wasn't worth it compared to the Indomitable Pride.
I don't know. That'd probably be something you could debate. I guess as I say, forget how much HP value is on. I think it's like 228. I think on the Flawless Fang.
I think it's 227 stamina.
Oh, 258. We're both wrong. Okay, so yeah, there you're looking at about a about a 500 stam loss. Yeah, I don't know, it's definitely probably debatable, but yeah, the HP loss is pretty substantial. I don't know, the thing about your size is having a cooldown from both that and TB. They're on 1 minute cooldowns, and you can have basically both of them up for every single slime wave and make a pretty big difference when dealing with that shadow dot. So that's cool. It's definitely, like I said, unique perspective from a warrior to enjoy your size. What were some of your thoughts on dealing with like Madness and Spine, or what's your current content like? How far have you completed?
Right now, we're currently 8 of 8 Heroic. We cleared that about 3 weeks ago for the first time.
Okay, nice. So, what about Spine? I'm assuming you're kiting on Spine or no?
Yep. Yeah, I kited on the 3rd play for Spawn.
Yeah, what did you think about that? Did you enjoy it or not so much?
Not really. Compared to Neff, which was the other huge tank kite fight for this expansion, it really wasn't well designed, I don't think, honestly. So, platform really didn't really give you much space to work with, which is one thing I really didn't like.
Yeah, I don't know. It was it was pretty. I had a little bit of experience trying to kite it on my warrior. Just trying to go around at like an intervene macro and rotating between shockwave, and then you could use a holy wrath from one of the pallies as well. I don't know, just
Yeah.
trying to run in the invisible boundaries as well as the snares from the open pores on the ground. It was a pretty big pain in the ass for the most part, but I don't know. It's if anybody would be optimal for it, it would be a warrior. It was a fight that they really did shine as far as kiting went.
Yeah, I'd probably put that right under Morchalk for most hated fights in Dragon Soul.
How did you end up? A lot of the questions I always end up getting is, how did you deal with impales on Madness? And I know as a DK, it wasn't even really that brutal because you didn't even need external cooldowns because of your control mitigation through Bone Shield. What did you really? What were some of the adversities you dealt with? Being a block tank and having to deal with impales.
I actually did consider playing my Death Knight ult for that fight, just because we realized from our other DK tank it was so OP for them not taking any damage really. But the way I handled it on my warrior was, and I know you were going against this yesterday on your tank show, but I actually did go full 75 stamina gems, and I also used the Stay of Execution trinket from the Firelands rep.
Yeah, no, no, no. What I was saying on my tank Q&A yesterday is, outside of Madness, there's no reason for a warrior to be really doing that. But on Madness, it's the only way a warrior should be gymming is full stamina because, yeah, I mean the block and avoidance is literally doing absolutely nothing
Right.
for you. So yeah, I mean on Madness, by all means, a warrior should definitely be focusing on stamina. Same with a prop paladin. I mean, yeah, I would even say to the point to where CTC cap is an afterthought because you're not going to really find yourself needing to be CTC capped on that fight, in my opinion, just because you're not tanking a ridiculous amount of incoming damage. It's all about being able to survive the impales, and yeah. So, what about cooldown rotation wise? What was your other tank? Did you have what Pally DK? What?
Definitely for Madness.
Okay. What were so? I'm assuming you were getting all the external cooldowns from your raid, like sacks, pain subs, and things like that.
Yeah, I was taking the priest cooldowns and the bubble sack.
Okay, cool. So yeah, definitely pretty interesting. That said, we get into a few more questions later on, maybe about like some favorite tiers and things like that. But we'll get moving on the rest of the show. Just getting your armory open here, and we'll start going over some of this. I'm gonna go ahead and toss it in stream chat, and then we can go from here. Just looking at, we start with your gemming. I noticed that you got like a mastery stem, a lot of mastery stem gems, and you got some full stem gems, and you got some full mastery gems. So I mean, like, what's the reason for the inconsistencies, really?
For the most part, it's just trying to get as much stamina as I can out of it. Currently, with the heroic Morchalk weapon I'm using, I'm right over the 102.4% mark. So just trying to get any extra stamina I can out of it. The extra mastery obviously helps with the critical block, but I think the extra stamina is better at this point for
Um,
certain fights.
well, I mean, yeah, I would say, I mean, which fights do you really think that that's the case with? Uh, just curious what your opinion is.
Madness, Yorsage, those are the two main fights.
Okay, so I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess it just comes down to um, personal preference. Yeah, I mean, because anything short, you can't really be expected to regem epic gems every single fight almost. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's just for people that are looking at it, it is a bit contradictory because I mean, if you're trying to focus on stamina, I mean, what would be the reason for having the fine lava corals, which are mastery parry, instead of just using parry stem gems?
Mostly just for the set bonuses on the certain pieces.
Right, but a parry stem gem continues to give you the gem bonus because it counts as a red gem as well.
I have to stay over the CTC cap, and that extra mastery is what helps push me over.
Okay. Yeah. Uh, okay. Well, moving on from that, then I guess looking at your professions, so your blacksmithing and jewel crafting. Um, they're both viable rating professions. Have you ever really thought about picking up either leatherworking or engineering?
Yeah, I've looked at leatherworking before, dropping jewel crafting for that. I mainly I picked up BS over alchemy for 4.3 for the extra sockets. Main reason I don't really switch to leatherworking over jewel crafting is mainly for the jewel crafter's gems. I like having more variety, being able to switch from the 67 master gems to the 101 stamina gems whenever it's needed for a specific fight or something.
Okay, but, I mean, even that's even. You're aware that jewel crafting uh, is less of a stat gain than like the other profession, or well, just because of epic gems, right? You're sacrificing stats like anywhere from I think it's like mid 20s to mid 40s, depending on your other profession. Like if you're blacksmith or you are blacksmithing with your other one, but the profession gain is narrow. The gap is narrowed since epic gems were released.
Compared from leatherworking and jewel crafting?
Just from anything, I'm just saying that the introduction of epic gems devalues jewel crafting because the epic gems close the gap. You know, there's no epic version of the JC gems. So you're like, take for instance, you have three one-on-one stam gems. So I'm not like a super math guy here, but let's just check this out. You have three one-on-one stam gems. So you know, prior to epic gems coming out, your stam gems were what, 50, I think, right? The blue quality gem, stam gem.
Yep.
Okay, so there we go from that to 70, or I'm sorry, yeah, 75. So you're gaining 25. They added 25 stamina to every one of the epic gems, but they didn't buff the jewel crafting chimera equivalent. So you know the gain that you're getting per gem is 101 minus 75. You know, you're dealing with 26 stats per gem. So 26 times 3 is, I don't know, like super good with math here. So you're only gaining 78 stat points like through jewel crafting, whereas that's you would gain more through a different profession just because of the way epic gems work. It's just getting down to like really splitting hair and min maxing, but I see a lot of people that still have jewel crafting. I mean, it's not bad. That's just current tier. They could end up buffing. They were supposed to introduce a buffed equivalent of the Chimera's Eye, which is like 120 whatever stam or whatnot, and things like that, and it would be back to where it should be. But yeah, they just haven't gotten around to it. I'm not sure for what exact reason, but
yeah, that's the one thing I was looking forward to at the start of the patch.
Yeah. Okay. So, just moving on from that to spec. I'm just looking at. See that you have a pretty traditional spec for the most part, minus, I don't know, you see a lot of people picking up Thunderstruck. I'm curious as to your reason to take the 2 points out of Thunderstruck and put them in Cruelty.
Cruelty mainly just for the extra threat with Shield Slam. It's something I switch fight by fight basis. Same with Safeguard in my spec for the Intervene 30% damage reduction.
Yeah, definitely the Safeguard, especially like for I guess any like if double makes double warrior tank viable on Madness, just because you can safeguard each other on top of other cooldowns. It's pretty substantial damage reduction, and I mean, even with a Pally, he could do a sack on you and you safeguard him. I mean, it's a very complimentary tank cooldown on a pretty short cooldown, so it's definitely worth picking up. I see a lot of people that don't pick it up, but I see here you have it, so it's always good to see people picking that talent up. Just looking at glyphs, I mean, it's kind of hard for I wish they would have a little bit more variety for warrior glyphs. I mean, do you ever find yourself glyphing any other glyphs for the most part, or not really?
Not really. I mean, I did use the Sunder Armor glyph for a bit over the Thunderclap one, but as Spine came around, I just sort of kept the Thunderclap one in there. There's not really much else you can do, like you said, with Warrior.
Yeah. Okay. So so we'll move on to some of the logs and whatnot. Is there anything you wanted to add about your armoring or anything about that?
No, that's pretty much it. My reforging's pretty much, I guess, normal. It's not really anything special I do with it.
Yeah, I actually had a question just now pop up. I know some of the people were talking about yesterday on the tank Q&A. I didn't really have the answer to that. They were asking about, the magic number between your parry and dodge because of hold the line talent. Is there an actual percent gap that you want to maintain in favor of parry, or do you just kind of get them a little higher?
I do try and keep parry a bit higher, but I think the magic number is 1.23%, if I'm right. That's more of the magic number. It's not really the easiest thing to get to with the current gear I have. But once I grab the belt off of War Master, which has yet to drop, it'll be something I can actually hit at this point. I don't know, like 1.24 or something. It's all based off the amount of mastery rating that you actually have.
Oh, I'm just curious. Why would your mastery rating change? The difference in dodge and parry.
It's hold on, let me make it see. It's the same chart that Sin was linking yesterday.
Okay. I will definitely take a look at that. I need to get spun up on that because there's a lot of people that are asking me, and I just know you want to have it somewhat close, but I don't know the actual, definitive number and whatnot. As far as your tier pieces, I see that you're also wearing 5-piece. I assume that you're in the same boat as Death Knight for the most part. There's no real better offset piece.
Yeah, the shoulders off Morchok are pretty decent, but I'd just prefer to go with the Master from the tier shoulders.
Okay. I'm going to go from there to the some of these laws that you were linking. Let's see.
I have ones from this past week to link you.
We're going to look at your... Okay, we got a Madness of Deathwing 25-man heroic here. And we'll start off with that. If you want to toss any more links into Skype, I'll just throw them on there as we get done with them and whatnot. So right here, we're just going to take a look at your guys' damage done and things like that. And then we're going to just go to him and look at his cooldown breakdown for Madness. And what is the platform order you guys go through on?
Let me think of the colors. Jeez. One sec. Pretty sure we start with Ysera and then go to Alex, and then Nozdormu, and then Kalikos. So
Yeah, green, red, yellow, blue. Yeah.
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay,
I don't know
so
the colors off the top of my head.
yeah. All right, we're just gonna take a look at this cooldown breakdown. Just take us through how you're doing. Say on the first platform, just how do you deal with that as far as cooldown management? Or like, what do you do going into the Impale? Like, just list off your cooldowns.
Going into the Impale, for the first platform, I make sure to I macro everything together for the most part, just for each platform, and I have it set up on my bars. For the first one, I'll use Shield Wall, Dream, Shield Block, and I'll make sure to get my Revenge 2-piece up, which is an extra absorb, so that'll take a little damage off, and I'll use my Stay of Execution trinket as well. For the second platform, it's pretty much the same thing, minus Dream, and I get a GS from our Priest Healer, and a Bubble Sack from our Ret Pally, and hit Last Stand too, just to ensure I'm not going to die. It's not really needed, but
Wait, you get a GS or a PS?
GS for that platform.
You're aware that a GS doesn't do anything, right, for that fight? Like, GS is not going to negate a killing blow?
It's mostly just for the extra healing after it hits it. It's not really necessary, but it's just something we use for it.
Hang on one second. Actually, just saying that, I'm curious, like, do you guys use, how many priests do you guys use?
We have 2 Priest Healers in the raid.
And they're, let's see, one is, okay, you have one holy and then one disc, okay. When are you using his paints up?
For the 3rd and 4th platforms.
Okay, one sec. I am going to check out all of his cooldowns and trying to look at your cooldown usage here, and then we'll just look at, okay, so the first one is in taking the impale. He has Dream active along with Stay of Execution and Shield Wall. And what's the actual name of that Revenge 2-piece? I can't think of it off the top of my head. It's called like Shield of Fury. Is that it?
Yeah, I believe that's it.
Okay. So here he's got the Shield of Fury going into that. So you have the Stay of Execution, that's about a 50k absorb. With the Dream and Shield Wall, there's nothing really he needs outside of that. We can also look at when he's getting the other incoming, actually, let's see. We can check and see exactly when each of the impales are going off and look at where he has his cooldowns lined up. Okay, so as you see this impale here, you just look at the green boxes are above. He has a shaman. This is a tank. You guys need to be making sure that you're looking for things like this on each of your World of Laws to make sure that you have everything optimized going into like impales and things. And you see here he had his 2-piece up and right up until right when it hit, and that's when it got absorbed. It has Shield Wall, Stay of Execution, and Dream active. The shield block, I mean, it doesn't hurt him. I mean, he's still using it because you can block the, increased crit block chance on the hits leading up to it to make sure that you're 100% topped and things like that. And then we see here for the next impale, he is getting a Hand of Sack, Shield Wall, and he's also using a Stay of Execution again. The only thing I would be curious about is with I was just wondering why you're using your Last Stand during the one with the pain suppression and not the one with the Guardian Spirit.
That's something I changed for this week's raid for the most. I didn't have. I wasn't sure on what the cooldown rotation would be for that week. I guess I didn't work it out to its full potential.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. It's probably not that big of a difference because of. Let's see. I'm just double checking. I mean, it's only a 10% difference because you, instead of getting the paints up on the previous one, it probably makes sense for you doing it like there because you're getting paints up on the following, but you also lose the HP buff. So the Last Stand during that platform is probably more beneficial. One thing I'm curious about is, do you guys have? Okay, it looks like you guys have several DPS warriors in here. One thing that you could do to optimize that is just have your. Actually, I didn't even check. Maybe you guys do. One sec. Okay, no. But yeah, I was gonna say you could. It doesn't look like you're doing it here, but try and get your DPS warriors to give a rallying cry during the impales. I mean, not only is it just helping, there's just no reason not to use it really, and it's just insurance in case, for whatever reason, a disc priest doesn't get a fresh shield on you or something like that. You guys have a rallying cry available on, the first and second platform that you're not using.
Okay.
And then,
yeah, it's definitely something I'll talk to them about.
Yeah, and but yeah, the way you're doing it is good. You're using your last stand on the one after you lose the HP buff, and you still have a pain sup, which is that's good. You're using the sack on the one out there. I mean, just from a raid leader perspective, to be honest, I would tell them to start using the guardian spirit on the person with the debuff, the parasite, because if you're going to have a holy priest in the raid for whatever reason, the guardian spirit would be best used on that person with a parasite, because what happens is if that thing is exploding and they take a slap at the same time and they don't have a personal up, or even if they do, they still might get, you can get comboed and die, and the GS is, like I said, it's not going to do anything for the impale. Like, the only thing you're going to get from it is, like you said, the extra healing after the impale hits you, but the other tank can taunt off you as the impale is casting, and the impale still hits you, and then you have a tank with full HP to take the following melee hit. So, there's ways to work around that as a tank and help your raid out a bit, and that would be just something that I would recommend changing if you guys would be open to it. I'm not sure how your guys' raid leader or whatnot functions, but that would definitely be a little bit more optimal, is putting the GS on the person with the parasite while the mutated corruption is still active.
Yeah, it's definitely something I'll check out.
Let's see. Checking out the next one. This is on the third platform. You can see he uses save execution, shield wall, gets a hand of sack, pain sup, and a GS. Okay, so third platform, he's got like the whole works going on.
That's third platform? That's fourth.
I had assumed it was third. Oh, wait, no. Fourth, you're right. Yeah. I was missing the first. Okay, so yeah, the fourth platform. Is this when the meteor's hitting? When you have all this stuff?
That's when the bolt's hitting, yes.
Gotcha. So that's why he's got all this stuff lined up. I'd actually forgot about the first, since there's very little cooldowns used on there. So the first one, he's shield walling, save execution, and dream. Second one, he's shield walling with a hand of sack and a stave execution. That's while Alexstrasza is still active, and that's the one that we were saying the rally cross should be thrown on. Third platform, he's stave execution, shield wall, pain sup, and his own last stand. So that's more than enough there. And then you see here on the fourth one, he gets like the whole everything lined up: shield block, shield wall, or I'm sorry, save execution, shield wall, hand of sack, pain sup. How much damage do you even take on that one? It can't be very much at all.
I think it's probably like 10% of my health at best.
Yeah, yeah, that's quite a bit. And yeah, again, it's the same case. The GS is just overkill. You're going to be, it's not adding anything to the mitigation. It'd probably put that on the person on the parasite or something like that. And then, how do you deal with things on the GS in the last phase? That one's a good one because it will save you from dying to the tetanus debuff. But what are some of the ways that you deal with tanking the horrors as a warrior? Because I know that's pretty brutal.
Yeah, that's definitely a pain in the ass. But the one thing we do is we have our Death Knight tank taunt off me for a few seconds, and he puts his AMS up and lets my stacks redrop. I think I did die on the kill you're probably looking at. So I usually die in that phase because that debuff sucks when most of your cooldowns are on cooldown.
Yep, that is correct. Even as a Death Knight, I don't know, it just depends on your strat. Some guilds stop and DPS them, but we don't really stop at all. We just
Yeah, we kill the first set, sort of just doing whatever, alien the bloods, and then the second set we sort of just ignore it. One thing we do on the first set is we try and balance it to keep the debuffs from getting on us.
Oh, well, you guys just taunt back and forth as needed?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Seems like a pretty good plan. Okay, so that one is that madness skill. We just got done looking at that. We're going to, I guess, before we get into having the stream ask you questions or whatnot, just go over some of the questions that you have, if you have any.
I know you. Oh wait, for you? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, for me or the stream or anything really. Yeah.
Yeah. I know you originally played your bear back in Old War, like you said, and what made you switch to the DK?
Oh, I switched to the DK during Old War. I had it for a bit before that. I don't know. I just liked the way that it played. I don't know. I just like the rune system. I don't really know why. I don't know if it's like the rune Tetris or whatever you want to call it. I just I liked the whole concept really. A lot of shorter cooldowns and things like that. But yeah, I don't know. The druid, I still like it. Enjoy playing it. It just didn't really feel as high of a skill cap in my opinion. So that's kind of why I wanted to switch to the Death Knight from the druid.
Okay.
Okay, so when you are still, as you're coming up with questions or whatnot, I'm just going to open or let the stream know they can ask any questions they have for you about playing a warrior or his guild, how they approach fights or anything like that, and get any questions that you guys have. Just go ahead and toss them in chat, and then we'll go over some of those in between.
I have some UI screenshot links if you want to check those out.
Yeah, sure, definitely. Yeah, I wanted to get to that. So yeah, go ahead and link those while we're waiting on them to toss in some questions for you.
For the most part, I just tried to grab screenshots that showed the power auras active.
Okay, I got this one here. I'm going to go ahead and toss this in stream chat. Okay, then we're just going to go over his UI, and like I said, while we're going over stuff like this, just you guys go ahead and toss some questions in, and then I will ask him as we're going over this. Actually, there's a good one already. Hey, well, this Nazar52 says, how do you feel about the state of warriors and Cataclysm, and are you optimistic with their outlook in Mists of Pandaria?
Right now, I think warriors are pretty much. I really like them right now. It's definitely different from the other tank classes, being that you have not too much magic damage mitigation other than if you use the TB trinket. I'm really liking the way they are now, though. As far as right now, I'm honestly not too huge on warriors for it. So far, I think the two big things they've announced are Revenge is going to be a 20-second cooldown, and Last Stand is going to be it's not going to have a cooldown anymore. It's going to be it's just going to cost 80 rage. I don't know if it's going to. I think it's still 30% of your health. But as far as the speccing goes for warriors, right now it sort of just seems like pick your crappy arms PvP talent here and go with that. So I really hope they do end up changing some things for that. I'd really look to play my DK for next expansion, honestly.
Yeah, I see the one guy here, the way he follows the question up. I know several warriors hate the love DKs get, and I think it's pretty funny. I'm sure that guy's actually probably not been playing that long, because if you had, you would understand that each tier rotates which tank is really stronger than the others, and last tier DKs were nowhere near the top. in the overall scheme of things. It's just the flow of balance or whatnot. You can go back to tier 11. I think tier tanks were kind of most balanced, with probably a warrior paladin DK. Druids are probably the least represented in tier 11, and then tier 12, paladin warriors had a huge advantage, and then druids and DKs far in the rear. And this is one of the first tiers, this X-Pack, where DKs have been a front runner during, as far as strengths of tanks during a tier of content. So I'm not sure what he's going at with that. Let's see. This one guy says, if you were going to play a Death Knight, would you end up tanking, or do you like the warrior style of tanking?
Yeah, I do have a Death Knight tank alt right now. Rig actually did an audit for a couple weeks ago for it, but it's like 397 item level or something like that, and I really enjoy tanking on it. We're like 3 of 8 a row, 4 of 8 a row, something like that. It's definitely fun doing that compared to playing a warrior, seeing how much easier certain things are for DK and seeing how some things are more difficult. What was the second part of the question?
He was... it was, I mean, you kind of wrapped it. It was kind of like a tie into the same question, really.
Okay.
He's asking. And then, so the guy is asking, which trinkets on which encounters would you use as a warrior tank, mainly referring to the dodge on use and the Tolbrad trinket. So I guess he's asking, which fights do you not use double stamp trinkets for?
Morchalk, that's one I do throw on the Mastery trinket, just for the extra dodge. It's an extra cooldown when he does his stomp debuff, so might as well throw it up. For his on-Oz progression, I did use my Tolbrad trinket as well, and used it during the black phase just for the extra resistance. Yorsage, used the Tolbrad trinket, mainly because of Void Bolt. That's a huge thing. Hagara, that's double stam trinkets. Can't dodge a parry, the focused attack. Latrax, you can use double stam trinkets, but for that I just throw in DPS trinket for the hell of it, just get extra damage out. War Master, that's one you might want to throw on a Mastery trinket if you're not too far over the block cap, or 1 or 2.4, just for the extra crit block. He can hit like a truck sometimes. I'm sure Greg can tell you that one from PTR testing or whatever that video was from. Spine, that's one you want to try and throw on your Fire the Deep trinket if you can, for the dodge on use. If you have Resolve of the Undying, which is the dodge one from Spine, that's definitely a huge help. The dodge helps when you're kiting the blood, just in case you do get hit from time to time. And Madness, it's mostly just double stam trinkets.
Okay, cool. And then I guess we'll just, while they're typing some more questions and whatnot, we're going to just hop over on your UI here, just looking at some of the things that you have set up. Do you, so here you have a Wings Power Aura. What is that one for?
The Wings is for PS / Guardian Spirit. The blood drop to the left of that is Vamp Blood / Vamp Brood, I think it is, when DK uses it and it's not from you. The Little Priest Fortitude icon is Hand of Sack. Below that, the shields are it's my shield block. The shield to my right, my character's right, that's my shield wall. Above that is Windwalk. Normally to the left of the shield wall icon is Last Stand, and then next to that's Indomitable, my Indomitable Pride trinket. Next to that is Mastery Tactician, which is from the Soul Shifter Vortex trinket, I think it's called. And then above that is there's supposed to be a Tolbrad trinket icon there, just to show the timer, and then Enrage Regen next to that, and Windwalk.
Do you have anything really monitoring your buffs from other people in the raid, like Stoneskin / Diva Aura, and or like Beacon, Earth Shield, and things like that?
Yeah, that normally shows up right above my unit frame right there. It's not there now, or there, because I'm mainly on a target dummy.
And what mod do you have doing that?
That's power horse. I'm set up for that.
I'm just curious. Do you end up having like I mean, it's because it's kind of pretty spread out, but not too much. It's still all relatively centralized on your screen. Have you ever thought about like consolidating it into somewhat of a condensed version of what you have going on here?
Yeah, that's definitely something I could do. But right now I try and keep it so externals are towards the left of my character and personals are on the right. But yeah, I could definitely probably make it a bit smaller.
Yeah, I'm just curious because like if you've got a lot of those active at one time, it's taking up a lot of view room right in the middle of your screen. But I mean, it's definitely a good setup that you've got tracking all that stuff. So that would be, for people out there that don't have setups like this. I mean, he's going in the right direction with what he's got going on. Like you said, this is his Pain Sup /GS. This is his Hand of Sack. See here, that's like Horn of Winter, letting you know when you have the parry buff. And then all his personals over here, like trinkets, when the Wind Walk is active, things like that. So it's definitely something as a tank you guys need to make sure that you have active and clearly visible and things like that. So. Just looking at his keybinds down here, it looks like you pretty much have everything bound, right?
Yeah, for the most part.
What are some of the things that you don't have bound?
Spell reflect, stances, retaliation. I don't think that's bound. That's pretty much it.
Well, not having things like, I mean, do you not ever really find yourself going like battle stance, putting up shattering throw, and then back D stance, or even battle pop retaliation, and then go back D stance when picking up a lot of ads or anything like that?
I do switch to battle stance certain fights to do shadows, but that's just something I click and then hit my macro to cast it and then switch back to defense stance. I should probably throw battle stance in there though.
Yeah, pretty good UI. I forgot what you said. Did you actually have any videos of you tanking or no?
No, there's not any videos of me tanking with that UI at least. Fraps sort of messed up this. I need a new version. It makes me disconnect if I turn on the old one.
Oh, okay, yeah. So let's see here. Gonna hop back over and then probably grab one or two more questions, and then probably try and wrap it up after that. So I saw one that Pikachu had asked earlier that I wanted to get to. He was asking, have you ever tried a Death Knight tank? He asks just because most people get more excited about active mitigation changes after playing a DK. So
Yeah, I do like playing my DK. It's definitely different from the warrior, being that you have the blood shield absorb and all that stuff, and the bone shield. It's definitely different, and I really do like it. So, I mean, it's something I've actually considered playing in the main raids every now and then. Having the big thing I realized at the start of the patch was DKs have their 4-piece set for Vamp Blood, which is a 1-minute cooldown, and then they still have their 50% IVF compared to me having to use my 40% shield wall on my warrior, which was my big cooldown last patch. I mean, it still is, but it's more of a raid cooldown in certain situations. So DKs definitely do have that upper hand as far as the cooldown usage for shield wall goes.
yeah, hopefully that's something they change in Mist to where the raid cooldowns are a lot less. I don't know. I don't like that. Take like a prop Pele's raid cooldown. They don't really lose anything. A DK loses less. Like you said, it's only on a 1-minute CD, and a warrior and a druid are penalized. A warrior's penalized more than a DK, and then a druid's penalized more than a warrior. Just because, if you're using a lot of those cooldowns, it's a lot of the times not when you need them, but when the raid needs them. So hopefully that's something they can somewhat try and balance. Hopefully, so we'll see how that goes. Okay. see, did you have any additional questions really about anything? Parse wise, or yeah, anything about your warrior DK's Dragon Soul?
Not really. You got my audit for my DK and pretty much went over most of the stuff for Dragon Soul and my war. I did see a question. Someone just posted it. Said it's multi-tank fights that I would mostly use Safeguard. That's something you definitely use on Madness or War Master. Having the extra cooldown every 30 seconds is definitely something that helps for the off tank or even someone who has the debuff or whatever for something.
Yeah, I definitely am a
It's like
huge
debuff for Madness or something.
huge supporter of Safeguard. It's a really strong talent, especially in current content. So, if anybody out there is playing a prot warrior, you know, especially in a progression situation, I would definitely end up picking it up. So, I'm gonna, when we start to, I think when I bring my warrior in for Madness, I'm definitely going to have it. It's just, it's too good not to have, only for 2 points. But either way, definitely good interview and whatnot. I'm just skimming through some of these other logs and things. If you ever have any video or anything like that, just let me know, and we could probably, get you back on here and just go over a video and stuff while people are checking that out. But yeah, thanks for hopping on and going over the armory, the logs, and UI, and then some of the stream viewers' questions and things like that.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, cool stuff. Alright, yeah, and you got me on Skype. If you ever need anything, just message me on there. I'll be around.
Alright, will do, man.
Alright.
That's it.
Okay, so that wraps that up. Again, I want to, give a shout out to him for, coming in here and helping do the tank talk and things like that. Like I said, going over logs. Wish we would have had a video, but it's not the end of the world. We actually made quite a bit of, useful time out of this. Just, this log going through this was pretty good. Being able to show you guys kind of how to look at cooldowns. Looking at other ways to tweak it to help min-max your raid. One thing we pointed out to him is, just throwing that GS on somebody like with a corrupting parasite or something like that, because a GS doesn't prevent a killing blow from impales. If it did, you would just, bring 2 Holy Priests, and it wouldn't really matter what tank you had in there. You just rotate GSs on them, but it doesn't. So it is what it is. Let's see. One of the questions someone was asking him, or I saw pop up earlier, was asking what we went over the gymming, but just to clarify for the people that were asking about it is, there's 2 fights in the instance that you really need to focus on stam for as a warrior, and that's Yorsage and Madness. And you could probably get away with it on Yorsage without focusing so much on stamina, just through good cooldown usage and things like that. But yeah, just to reiterate, Madness is really the only fight a warrior needs to stack stamina for, because you can't block an impale and things like that. I want to thank Center for pointing out this as well. You can compare this and then add mirror of broken images. Yeah, and this is the 2 trinkets that people still end up using today. And it's a little bit of a stam loss, but if you find yourself doing your Sage progression or something like that on a warrior, this is definitely an option if you want to go back and get that off Syndragosa. The thing is, this is 268 resistance, and this one's 400, so it's a little less potent with the broken images. But the way that the slimes work, they come out once you have your 1 minute cooldowns up for each set of slimes. So what you would do in this situation was lead off with the Syndragosa trinket and wait until that fell off and then go into your Mirror of Broken Images. So I mean, it pretty much gives you 20 seconds of, highly reduced magic damage intake, which is the type of damage that you're taking in there. So, I mean, you could even, wait till you get 3 stacks, then shield block, and you get the 20% reduction from your shield block being active. As soon as your shield block is falling, Cinder Ghost's Flawless Fang up, and then TB Trinket. You have your shield wall for every other one, and then you can have a Pally's Hand of Sack for the, you Hand of Sack the odds, and then shield wall the evens or something like that. And then between that and, it's the biggest thing is just working out things with your healers, So lining up your cooldowns so you can, get around, not stacking stamina on a warrior for that fight. But when you get to Madness, then Pale's a whole different animal. So hopefully you guys learned some stuff about that if you play a warrior and you're having some issues on that fight. If you guys want to, throw in any more questions and whatnot, make sure you guys are following me on Twitter and you put any questions that you have on my Twitter, and I go and check that, as pretty often, not hourly or anything. But let's see, we're up to 587 followers. That's pretty awesome. If you guys aren't following me on Twitter, do me a favor and do so. If we get up to 600, that would be great. But and again, if you guys have any questions, put them on my Twitter, and I'll get to them. Sorry, I see a lot of people asking for armory audits and things like that. We do a tank Q&A on Wednesdays, and that's when I go through the armories. But also pretty much every day we've got stuff going on. Like tonight, we're raiding in less than an hour, and we've got a 25-man Firelance Heroic clear, followed by full tier 11 content run. So we've got a lot going on here, and it kind of cuts down the amount of time that I'm able to spend on Twitter and things like that. And so yeah, make sure you follow me on Twitter. Make sure if you guys are new to the channel, you hit follow. Tomorrow we have a special guest interview. I'm going to go ahead and link you this thread that you guys can check out. All right, this is a thread that you guys can vote on who you want to see on here tomorrow. Okay, you can go to that and vote. Voting's pretty close for the round table compared to Juvie, but make sure you're voting. The winner of that, we'll try and get them. We'll have one of them on here. I'll try to get whoever wins. If it ends up being Juvie, I'll have to try and talk him into getting on here. If not, I'm pretty sure Center would do it. So I mean, either way it goes, we'll have one of the Warriors that are on that list on here for the special guest tomorrow. But whoever you guys have as a winner, I'll try to use this as ammo to get them on the show. So you guys can ask whatever questions. It doesn't have to be WoW related. That's more of a just wild card day where any topic's fair game as long as it's not annoying or something. So good stuff. Glad you guys had a pretty good turnout for the show. Over 300 for the most part the whole time. Like I said, you guys know the drill. I'm gonna chill out a little bit before the raid, talk to some people in Mumble, and make sure the groups and stuff are set up for tonight, and then we will have the raids kicking off here shortly in less than an hour. So you guys hang around. We'll run a couple commercials. Thanks for watching the show, and hope you guys enjoy the raids tonight. If you guys get enough people here, I'll be giving away another TCG item. Okay, and we may just do the random roll for it, or I may just link it in chat and have you guys race for it like I did last night, and we'll see how many people bitch about getting free stuff again. So yeah, thanks. Glad you guys enjoyed the show. And make sure you stick around for the raids. They're starting in less than an hour. This will be uploaded on YouTube by tomorrow, so make sure you guys are subscribed to my YouTube. All right, thanks.